Hi everyone, welcome back to Online Darts. Here we are at the Target Sports Stars fishing event, and we've got PDC honcho Barry Hearn. Barry, first of all, we'll get to the fishing. What a great day this is, raising money for a great cause and something that you love doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, Willow Foundation, we've known for years that, obviously, it's been around forever, and they need, like all these charities, they need so much help these days with COVID-19, all the fundraisers, London Marathon, all these things that they rely on over the years just hasn't happened. So it's great to be able to do a little bit for them, the more the better, the more we can do for these type of people, because they're such a great service to everybody.
Coming on to the darts, you must be over the moon with the way darts has come back into the sporting arena.
Yeah, we're working very hard to sort of, there's two things you can do. You can put your head in the sand and wake me up when it's all over, or you can get off your backside, do something about it. And the darts boys and the snooker boys, both of them got in common. They want to work. They're self-employed people. They get paid when they play. And we're an events company. We don't get paid unless we do events. So we've been very creative. We've worked very hard. The team at the PDC have done a magnificent job coming up with innovative ideas like darts at home, then darts behind closed doors, and now we're getting to just approaching, we're not there yet, but we're approaching the limited crowd, which, please God, it can happen in time for maybe the playoffs of the Premier League or something like that, because we've got to get back to normality, and darts is about the atmosphere of a live crowd. Although I thought the World Match Play looked fabulous, the Sky did a great job, and the standard, the players was very entertained, the ratings were huge. But we need live crowd. We need people having fun, and that's what darts is all about.
Are you hopeful the O2 can happen with a limited crowd, or do you think it might be slightly early?
Might be slightly early, but we're going to give it our best shot, as always. I think we need an experiment anyway, because otherwise, how do we know it doesn't? How do we know it works? So even a very limited crowd will at least start us on that first rung of the ladder of recovery, if that doesn't sound too elaborate, I mean, obviously all eyes are mid-December, World Darts Championships. Behind closed doors, World Darts Championships, limited crowd. We've got to show that we are capable of putting on an event in safe conditions, meeting all the government regulations, looking after fans and players and staff, and still being able to create the same atmosphere that's made darts the sport it is.
Playing devil's advocate with the Worlds, worst case scenario, and we couldn't have fans at Alexandra Palace. Would you move the World Championships abroad to have a crowd like at Austria, like the World Series?
It's possible. It's complicated, but it's possible. I think at the moment all options are open, and we're going for gold, as we always do, and we're going for full house Alexandra Palace as normal. But we're going to be led by the data, as they say. We're going to be led by the science. That's what the government keeps telling us. I don't know what that means, by the way, but we're going to be led by the science. And we're keeping our fingers crossed, My personal feeling is this COVID-19 is, until we get a vaccine, I think we're going to have to live with it. And life has got to go back to normal. And otherwise, the economic effect of that across the whole country will be something that our children and our children's children will be paying for. So, as much as it's a marginal risk, I think we've got to go back to normal, somehow or the other.
I agree. Looking at other PDC tournaments coming up, things like the Grand Slam, a lot of talk around that at the moment with the BDO wildcard picks that have always been there. Are there going to be wildcards this year? Not necessarily BDO, or is it going to be a fixed qualifying criteria, or is that still going to stand?
No, there's going to be some wildcards. I mean, we're going to look at, I don't really call it BDO because I don't really know what's happening with the amateur game, so I call it amateur wildcards. And there will be, I'm sure, some of those. Not probably as many as there have been in the past. And there'll be other picks, and there'll be more spots for qualifying criteria as well. But it will involve amateur players, is all I can say.
With the BDO not being there then, as it is, I'm guessing that you and Matt and the board will have sole control over the picks this year then?
We've always had sole control over the picks.
I know you've always asked the BDO for their opinion, shall we say.
Yeah. Look, we're not trying to be clever about it. We're trying to do an event that is different from other events. The Grand Slam is the pick of the amateur players against the cream of the professional players and integrated. So it doesn't really matter whether they come via the BDO, via the WDF, right? That's immaterial. The most important thing is that people get a chance, and they get a chance to compete on a big stage for big prize money. Because I don't know what's happening in the amateur game at the moment, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not up to date, perhaps, with it, but
I don't think anyone does. If we're being honest.
Well, because how can they do anything? It's a bit like small hall boxing promoters. If you take away the ticket income and they've got no TV income, how can they pay the prize money? Doesn't make sense. So similarly in things like amateur darts, they're in the same position. If you can't get a crowd to sell tickets and you haven't got a TV company paying you loads of money, where do you find the prize money from? There's no sponsors going to be so they are between a rock and a hard place, and we can try and help a little bit.
Last one on the darts, Q School 2021. Will that definitely happen? There's a lot of talk around that. Will it happen? Can you confirm that
it's definitely going to happen? Yeah, definitely will happen. No question, because there's hundreds and hundreds of players driving us mad, wanting their chance on the stage. So, and there's going to be relegation. I mean, we will be slightly short on Pro Tours probably by the end of the year, but still enough to know who the best players are. And over a 2-year tour card, these things balance out. So Q School is 100% happening.
A lot of concern around the autumn series at the moment in Hildesheim with a load of flights being cancelled from the UK and players can't get out there at the moment. Is there any possibility that gets moved from Germany back to the UK?
Well, there's always a possibility, but I think it's unlikely, and I think there are ways now that we've got a way around now the flights.
Right, okay.
So it's a question of logistics and getting everybody there. We've got 45, 46 European players on tour. It's unfair to have every single event series in the UK. This is one that we're doing everything we can to stage outside the UK for their benefit. And I know the winter series, and we're back in the UK. So somehow or the other, like everything, it's going to be inconvenient. We've just got to battle our way through, which is what we do every day of our life.
We know you like teasing us. Have you got anything that you can drop us that hasn't been out there yet for the darts world and the fans?
Not really. I mean, we're firefighting every week, every day. The rules are changing all the time. We're just focused on making sure that we deliver what we promise the players. We're making sure that we don't reduce any prize. I mean, us and snooker, the only two sports that haven't reduced prize money. We're taking the hit. We're big enough boys to take the hit, and we're just trying to get live crowds back in because that's what gives that extra buzz to darts.
Barry, pleasure as always, mate.
Always,
Thank you very much.
Well done, boy. Happy days. Stay healthy.